stone wall that went right across, and I knew it well. And there was a couple of old pines right there. And on the other side where they were coming out,
Oh my
beechwood
God.
saplings on that side. So I didn't manage to get out there, but as I approached that little juncture, that little dog leg, that hook right there, I took note of that whole area because I didn't want to scare a squirrel or a grouse or a turkey or whatever, or another deer.
Go around in the back of me.
And just hurt my chances of getting a harvest because I really needed a harvest.
I can see
I'm gonna go back.
it's like all right here is glitzing. It's going back and forth like this. Glitters. It's coming in and out. Glitters. Ow!
You know, is I was no longer thinking here. It was something but I got out to that point. I could see the dog that it wasn't anything there.
Don't go.
And I could hear them coming
See,
through the
see.
and they were slowing up, so I took my position up facing that stone wall. And
It's so beautiful. Oh my God.
Right to that stone wall. As soon as he promoted stone wall, I was gonna get one of them. It's probably maybe.
Yeah, look, this is over there.
There's a brand new house right here, but don't go. Oh, I'm seeing it. Look.
Shabby, I need to tell get ready.
I'm catching it. I'm catching it on camera.
Oh. Hunters out there, there's a 2 3/4 inch for anything semi-auto before the barrel. Okay, so you know that if I can start from there, pretty much I can put some slugs out there. But buckshot at 40 yards, I'm just going to injure an awful lot of deer, and that wasn't my objective. But when I go hunting, I need to take it down right then and there. But I can hear them coming towards me. I'm crouched down a little bit, and I've got my 12 gauge right on my shoulder. I've got it pointed right at that stone wall, waiting for them to come over. And they stopped, and I'm waiting. And not long, maybe just a couple seconds. They pick up movement on my 9 o'clock. It's on my left hand side, and I stand over there. So I got my 12 gauge still pointing over at that stone wall. I stand over to my left hand side, just in my peripheral vision. I see something laying next to a tree, just basically like a silhouette of it. Probably around the 35-yard mark. On one of the podcasts I was on, we did advanced Google Earth. We dropped a pin on where I said I was standing, and we dropped a pin on that tree. It was 38 yards. I used to do a lot of bow hunting. There's no brag there. There's just fact. I might have missed that target by maybe 6 or 7 inches, but I would have hit it with a bow and arrow. So it's laying there by the tree, and I figured that it's probably a deer. A lot of people say, well, you know, how can you mistake a deer for something else? Well, you know, you can mistake a stump for just about anything. People do it all day long. You know, you want to be very cognizant of what you're doing out there in the wood. You don't just want to go, oh, hey, there's a deer, and shoot. The other thing that stopped me, that made me look at it a little bit harder, was the fact is I was brought up to never shoot deer laying down. I was told that, you know, whether my dad and my great uncle told me to put the fear of God into me or not, they said that the warden, when they take a sample of your deer down at the checking station, you can take it to the checking station in Massachusetts, they can tell if it was laying down sleeping or not. And you get yourself in a lot of trouble. So I don't care. I don't know. I'm not shooting one laying down, regardless of what anybody out there says. Okay? I'm not doing it. It's not very sportsmanlike, and besides, if it is true, I don't want to go to jail for shooting something that's laying down on the ground sleeping. So I'm just kind of bouncing my head back and forth and trying to remain cognizant of those deer on your side of the stone wall. And I realized that this thing is scrunching up towards the tree a little bit more. And now it's a big body. And I'm thinking now that it's definitely not a deer. This has got to be a bear.
Thank you.
With the way it's scrunching up to the tree.
Thank you.
And now I shift my stop gun over to it because I don't want to be bum rushed by a bear. If there's a bear there that I missed when I first came into that point in my ambush, and I'll be close by or in a tree or something, and I don't need to have any an altercation with the bear. I don't have a permit, and it's kind of hard to prove that the bear attacked you or whatever, because generally you've got to, it's rigmarole. You've got to bring the warden in there, bring them all back to where this happened and everything else. So I got my shotgun on it. Then I'm just up to that tree even more, and it's got the silhouette of me. So now I'm really, my focus goes from 50-50 back onto those deer on the other side of Stonewall. They stopped. They're browsing. I can hear rustling over there. It sounds just like they're browsing. So I'm bringing my whole attention back over to across that stone wall.
Thank you.
And this guy starts getting up. He's got his head around the other side of that tree. And I'm still kind of like bouncing a little bit back and forth. I'm really trying to remain 100% on those deer on the other side of the stone wall. But he kind of has my attention because his head's around the other side of the tree. I don't believe that he knows that I'm there. And if those deer come over that stone wall, I'm going to always get myself shot with buckshot. He's not going to miss that range with buckshot. I'm going to get hit with one of them. That won't be nice. I don't need holes in my jacket or my shirt or anything. I just, it's just the way it is. And I notice that he's still getting up. Now I'm thinking, this is a big guy. I says, I got to get myself into a position so that if them deer come over that stone wall and they try to go between us and he has to shift his body to my side of the tree, his head to my side of the tree, he'll catch me in peripheral vision. So I moved up a little bit. I'm still kind of trying to squat down, but I move up just a little bit, so I'll be caught in peripheral vision. That'll cure that, so I can focus on the deer. Because the first good-sized deer to go to stone wall, that's my deer. There's not gonna be any freaking about that. That's my deer. And again, I glanced over this guy to see what he's doing. He's enormous. This guy's huge. And I'm actually looking for a mark on the tree, like a branch, a twig. I'm looking for something because I'm thinking that I'm going to need to walk over there and figure out how tall this guy was if he doesn't come walking over here. So I see a piece of moss. His head's still on the other side of the tree. I see a piece of moss. I go, good, there it is. At that point, all hell broke loose on their side. So there was a knockdown, drag out. I can't even explain to anybody. The noises that were coming over there, it sounded like something came out of the trees. There was boulders clacking. There wasn't just branches breaking. And I know people maybe might want to retell the story. Be good at retelling it, because you don't want me in the audience to hear my own story and have to correct you on this. They weren't branches. These things were limbs. I heard them hitting, like if you went down to the gym and found a 250-pound bag and took a baseball bat and hit that